I've been a product manager for the past 5 or 6 years. I actually got my start as a product analyst and shifted into product management for a fintech company. And for the past 2 years, I've been a digital product manager at Lowe's companies. Product management to me is kind of the intersection between engineering, UX, and business. It's kind of that intermediate role that connects all of those areas, and it's a dynamic role where you're constantly working with engineers, but also working closely with the business to make sure we're building the right products for the right people at the right time. Naming the top three critical things that I do in my role as a manager is first of all being able to prioritize oftentimes multiple issues asking to be done at the same time, being able to prioritize and communicate that back to stakeholders. The other thing is kind of in a hybrid with a business analyst type position is gathering requirements, understanding the business requirements or whatever the stakeholder requirements are. And the final piece that's very important is actually working with the development team or engineers to actually deliver on those requirements and make sure they understand it along the way throughout the development cycle, and following up with that and at the end with product manager sign off and user testing, kind of end to end delivery of those requirements. I'd say the most important attributes to defining either epics or stories is identifying who the user is that we're solving the problem for, and what what the problem is we're solving, and how we're going to solve it. Sort of the who, what, and why. During my time as a product manager at a company called Fidelity Information Services, I was working on a major initiative to essentially re-platform their legacy mobile banking application. And this was a huge undertaking, so I kind of helped lead the effort all the way from understanding requirements from their legacy platform, aggregating those, organizing those, and then working cross-functionally with UX designers and engineering leads on new requirements as we replatformed to the new platform. And this involved essentially rewriting over 1,200 user stories with the new requirements implemented, and then working closely with development teams to make sure they understood those requirements and kind of guiding the development along the way. And this whole initiative ended up taking about a year and a half, and I helped lead all of the Android side development. And by the end of that, we were able to successfully deliver this new core banking, mobile banking platform, and it's been in market ever since. Objectives and key results are essentially ways of setting goals with the emphasis on driving towards process improvement and having a measurable objective. So laying out a goal as in I will achieve an objective by looking at these key results. So they should be quantifiable metrics that you can use to measure the effectiveness in achieving that objective. And generally, the companies use them to essentially create alignment across the organization in achieving a common goal, or to make sure everyone's aligned and there's transparency between different products lines and what they're trying to accomplish, as the OKRs should be generally visible across the organization. Product management and engineering essentially go hand in hand. Engineering relies on product management to clearly define requirements, to kind of guide what should be worked on and when, and also understanding those very detailed user requirements as they build out the functionality. Product and user experience is essentially the product manager's role is to bridge that understanding from the user perspective into everything that gets built to make sure that engineering is essentially building the right product for the right users as the end goal. Measuring if a product is successful and delivers high value could vary depending on the product, but in general, metrics you can go by in measuring that success, such as those OKRs that were mentioned, objective key results, often looking at adoption or like as in new user acquisition, or looking at engagement if existing users are continuing to go back into using a feature, and measuring if that goes up over time after a release of a new feature or an enhancement. In this scenario, if a delivery team did not deliver what the business asked for, it would partially fall on a product manager like myself, as not having clearly defined those requirements to the delivery team during development, or even at the point of when it comes to signing off on the release. If I found that they didn't deliver what was asked for, or if something was lost in translation, I would definitely try to bring that back into development, if there was still time to make that change in a future sprint or release. Kind of circling back. Sometimes we may be able to continue development with new user stories or requirements that essentially build off of what was built. If it wasn't too far off what the ask was, then we can definitely work with that, and that way we wouldn't we wouldn't need to treat what was worked on as kind of throwaway work, which is often tough for developers to take in that ways. But kind of using enhancement work to continue in subsequent releases would be the way I would approach that. Yes, I've had quite a bit of experience delivering technology solutions as a product manager. I previously worked for a fintech company delivering mobile banking app features focused around money management and customer servicing and support. In that time, I led new features from enabling electronic statement viewing, including enrollment flows, which involved integration to back-end core banking systems that stored those statement files, and also released a digital receipts management tool, and giving the ability to capture images of receipts directly into the banking app and have that stored and scanned through image character recognition to be able to search items on the receipt. Also launched a feature for credit card specific applications, the ability to control and disable card spending, and also enroll and unenroll in push notifications related to card spending. In my time at Lowe's, which is where I'm currently working as a digital product manager, I was overseeing an area known as order visibility, so handling any order status changes, and providing that visibility to both customers and to the store associates and contact center associates, who are the users of our order management system. I spent some time in the stores and noticed there was a pretty big gap in what the associates were actually aware of in terms of communications that had been sent to a customer through the automated order management system, such as emails related to delays or anything like exception emails. And oftentimes there would be some duplicate handling of of reaching out for communicating to the customer. So this wasn't an item that wasn't being that was being tracked in the roadmap, and the business hadn't been asking for it. But I brought it up in some stakeholder meetings, talking to stores management, and it sounded like it was a feature that they would be happy to take on. And I actually rolled that out from inception to delivery, the ability to stamp notes with communication. Some of the techniques I've used to facilitate discovery sessions, especially working with like development teams and maybe cross-functionally with business, is essentially laying out an end-to-end flow of, say, if we were building out an enhancement on an existing system, understanding what that existing flow is in detail with like a flow chart, maybe whiteboarding on a screen, and um, kind of overlaying that side by side with what we were trying to enhance, and what aspects of of that flow chart would be changed. So kind of drawing out an entirely parallel path with alternate forks in it, to kind of understand what the net changes are and where they would be in the flow, just to understand the effort and who would what the dependencies may be in different areas. So kind of listing out all of those, and pretty much getting all of those stakeholders engaged and their buy-in on the possible solutions. When I'm not in the office, some of my hobbies are I definitely like getting outdoors when I get the chance, going hiking, going camping, and I also like tinkering with technology. I'm a pretty big techie, so like playing playing with computers, playing video games, and lately I've been experimenting a bit with virtual reality headsets, not just for gaming, but also like using that for multimedia experiences. Yes, I confirm you may use this video for hiring and evaluation purposes.